Hi everybody, Amber here from Atomik Photography. Hope you guys are doing well. In this week's video, I'm going to be showing you some of my top photo editing apps on my iPhone, how I use them, some of my tips, and how you might be able to apply some of those tips to your own work. Some of the most common tools that I use for photography are around editing apps. I've then got some sort of planning apps for Instagram. There are some apps that help me with lighting when I'm on location. So I'm going to cluster them into groups of apps. So the first set that I'm going to show you are the editing apps because they're the most common things that I use. So if I get into, for example, the Lightroom app, it will have all the photos on my iPhone. I can make some albums that sync back to my laptop. So for example, you can see that I have some images from a photo shoot that I did last year. And basically what I'll be doing to images is I will, very similar to how I use Lightroom on the main laptop, I will go into light and I will adjust exposure, I would adjust contrast, etc. So I can bring the exposure down on this image or I can bring it up. So you can push a lot of the sliders that you would have on your normal desktop Lightroom, you can do that on the mobile app as well. Similarly, on color and temperature, I can make this image warmer, I can make it much cooler. So you can have access to the white balance sliders, your saturation, making it much more vibrant, making it much more saturated, etc. So I can go through and make some minor edits to my image. The other thing that I love about Lightroom is that I can copy the settings. So if I've made some edits to an image, I can copy those settings. I can select which of all those things that I've just done that I want to select. I click OK. I go to a different image and I can apply all those filters, a bit like a preset, to this image, and you can go to paste settings. So I'll do a deeper tutorial on how I use Lightroom, but Lightroom is one of the most common things that I use. If I want to do something a little bit more creative, I will use the Enlight app. It has a number of filters, and what I really like are their analog filters. So they give you these sort of film presets that you can apply to your image, and you can go through and you can apply some of these filters to your image. If you want the filter to be deeper, you want the filter to be lighter, you just sort of move your finger, slide your finger across. It's really intuitive, it's very easy to use. Don't be scared of using editing tools with your photos and your imagery. I think it's a really nice way to make your images pop. The other thing that I like about Enlight is they've got a number of artistic filters as well. So whether you want sort of, different shapes and things over your images, you can drag and drop sort of graphic shapes. It also lets you do some artistic things around making something look like a painting on an image. So you can do a lot more artistic things on Enlight. I use it less because I don't do lots of digital art kind of stuff, so I tend not to use Enlight as much as I use Lightroom. The other photo editing apps that I use is VSCO. I'm sure that you guys are very aware of this. This has lots of filters that you can use and apply to images. So if I look at a picture of Lana's that I have, and I come into here, and I can basically apply a number of preset filters, a bit like the filters that you get on Instagram, and I can apply those to the image. And it's a really quick and easy way to add a theme to a set of images that you're editing, even if they're just snaps that you've taken with your iPhone, or whether they are images that you've taken on an SLR. So I'll do that, I'll save it, and then I will upload to Instagram. And speaking of Instagram, I have a couple of Insta-related apps that help me do stuff on Instagram. So the first one is Planoly. I really like this. You can add images to just see how your feed is looking. So if you want to get uniformity in your feed, you can put images side by side, rearrange their order, etc. This is my actual feed from Instagram, so it pulls it through. You can, before you even upload your images, you can just make sure that you upload your image. So if I come into here, I go into albums and I kind of go into here, I can upload an image. And what it does is it shows me how it looks with the rest of my images. It's really nice if you're definitely trying to curate a certain look and feel on Instagram. It just helps you to place your images, create clusters and groups and themes of images. I find it a really handy tool. You can then, once you're happy with it, you can actually make updates in terms of your hashtags and your caption, and then you can post it from within the Planoly app as well, and it will upload to Instagram for you. The other Insta-related app that I use is Griddy Pro. Griddy Pro will take an image, so let's take this image, and it will create for you a sort of a grid of individual images. So some people will have this in their feed. You'll see it on my Instagram feed. I will take a really high impact image and I will break it up into a number of images that I then upload. What it does is it tells you which ones to upload in which order, etc. And it just sets that. You don't have to sit there fiddling in Photoshop to create the separate squares across the grid. So it's a really handy tool. I use it quite often. Yeah, it's you can get it on the App Store. It's a paid. Griddy Pro is the paid version. You can get a free version as well. The other Instagram related app that I use, and it's primarily to create stories, is Typorama. And what Typorama will do is you can take an image of yours, this image, and I can say whether I want it to be an Instagram post, a Facebook post, etc. I create my Instagram stories from here. And what it helps me to do is, and it's not doing it right now, it helps me to create stories. So if I kind of put my image where I want it to be on the screen, it will then give me a number of font options. And if I look at, this is one of my favorite fonts, and I can say new video, and put a heart emoji, done, continue anyway. And basically what I can then do is I can change the color of that font, I can move it around, I can rotate it, etc. It's just a really nice thing to help you create Insta stories really quickly. So let's just come out of there. The last app that I'm going to show you is called the Photographers Ephemeris. And what this app helps you to do is to actually, wherever you are in the world, it will tell you the timing of sunrise, the timing of moonrise, the timing of sunset, the timing of moonset, and it gives you a direction at a particular time of where the sun is going to be. Now, this really helps, particularly if I'm planning a photo shoot in a place where I haven't been before, I haven't been able to do any kind of scouting. What it helps me to do is to make sure that I know that with particular landmarks or famous places, I know where the sun is going to be hitting, and therefore I can plan where I put my model better. I find it a really helpful tool, especially when I'm away with Lana. We want to get out early. I want to know which way the sun is rising from, etc. It's just a really, really handy tool. So the sun was rising from here, it's setting from there, etc. So you can set the time of day, you can set into the future, the date, etc. And it will really help you plan your shoot better. And those are my most commonly used apps for photo editing and photography. I hope that was helpful to you guys. If you want to see more of a deep dive in any of the apps, please let me know in the comments section. If you found this helpful and useful, please like and comment. It really makes a difference to my channel. And I'd also like to say thank you to all the people who have subscribed so far. I hit 100 subscribers last week. I know that doesn't sound like very much, but it's a real milestone for me. So thank you everybody for subscribing, and I'll see you again very soon.